You are my hiding place. You always fill my heart with songs of deliverance. Whenever I am afraid, I will trust in you. I will trust in you. Let the weak say I am strong in the strength of my Lord.
Week 1, remembering why we must remember. Day 3, why be a stone gatherer? Levi tribe. What are the roadblocks in your life? What causes you to stumble in your faith? What trips you up just as you are beginning to run the race of life? For the Israelites, the Jordan River was a roadblock. It stopped the progression of the promise. After all the years of wandering, they were so close they could feel it. They were finally at the borders of the promised land, but they weren't in it yet. There was one more river to cross, but it was a doozy. At that time of year, the Jordan River was at flood stage. Maybe a few of the strongest could ford the river, but Joshua had the holy assignment of getting all the people across the flooded waters of the Jordan River. 40,000 men, plus women, children, and animals. They spent 3 more days consecrating themselves to God, and then it was time. They were ready to cross, ready for God to make the way. They had heard of what he had done in the past, parting the Red Sea. Was it possible he would do it again? As they approached the Jordan River, it appeared nothing was happening. But then they took that step of faith, allowing their feet to touch the water's edge. They stepped into the flooded Jordan River, and when they stepped out in faith, the waters of the river rolled back, and the people walked forward on dry land. It wasn't even a muddy, murky mess to trudge through. It was solid, dry ground. Were they afraid that the water would fall back on them? Did they run across in fear or walk quickly across in amazement? Regardless of their emotions at the time, they took that step of faith and kept going. After all were safely across, God gave another assignment. He told Joshua to go back to the middle of the Jordan River and gather 12 stones. These were to be stones of remembrance. The Lord wanted them to take the stones from the Jordan because he knew they were a forgetful people. They were forgetful about who he is, what he can do, and what he requires. I am forgetful too. That is what this devotional is all about, remembering instead of forgetting. And as we remember who he is, what he has done, and what he will do, he will begin to do extraordinary things. Why? So that all will know that God is powerful and wonderful and kind and merciful and loving. When people see us and what God does despite our ordinariness, God alone will be glorified.